Picture this, an entire nation gathered in a valley. On one side rises Mount Gerizim, lush and green, the mountain of blessing. On the other, Mount Ebal, barren and stark, the mountain of curse. 6 tribes face one side, 6 tribes face the other, and in between stand the Kohanim, the Levites, and the Ark of the Covenant. The people here, blessing if you follow the covenant, curse if you betray it. It's as if the Torah paints morality on the landscape. And though we aren't in that valley today, literally, every human being still stands there daily. We live in an age that is allergic to clarity. Everything is relative, we are told. It depends. Don't be so black and white. Yet, Parshat Ki Tavo cuts through the fog. There are moments when it is black and white. Choices that we make have consequences. Blessing and curse are real. The dilemma for modern man and for every God-seeking person is this: do we believe our choices carry weight beyond the moment? Or do we think life is random? History, just chance. Morality, only personal taste. We read in Deuteronomy chapter 27, verses 11 through 13. And Moses charged the people the same day, saying, "These shall stand upon Mount Gerizim to bless the people when you come over the Jordan. Shimon and Levi and Yehuda and Issachar, Yosef and Binyamin. And these shall stand upon Mount Ebal for the curse, Reuven, Gad, Asher, Zvulun, Dan, Naphtali." It's a very almost cinematic scene. One of our commentators, the Sforno, says that the ceremony is staged purposely to dramatize moral consequence. Blessing and curse are not hidden. They are proclaimed publicly in a setting that no one could miss. And we have a medrash from Midrash Tanhuma, which tell us that these mountains represent clarity. The Torah refuses to let us live in a moral fog. Mountains, they're things that you just can't ignore. They dominate the landscape. They dominate your visual field. So the distinction between blessing and curse must stand in front of us inescapably, demanding our attention, just like the mountains. Later on in the Parsha, in chapter 28, verse 15, and then we have, I'm just quoting from these verses, 28, 58 through 59, we have what is known as the Tochacha, the admonition that is given to the Jewish people if they fail to observe the commandments. It's actually a repetition of the Tochacha that we saw earlier, although it is much longer this time. The verse tells us, "It shall come to pass, if you will not hearken unto the voice of the Lord your God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command you this day." That's Moses speaking to the people. that all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. It's not the kind of thing that you could just do the wrong thing and hope that nobody notices, hope it goes without incident. Further on, if you will not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that you may fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord your God, then the Lord will make your plagues extraordinary, and the plagues of your seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sicknesses of long continuance. Interestingly, when you look at the full text of the Tochacha, the admonition, you will see that devastation is brought to every aspect of life. The Ramban tells us that what the Torah is teaching us is that disloyalty to the Torah, to morality, doesn't only touch the soul, it corrodes society, economics, health, even the land, the physical land itself. The detail that we find in this long section shows us that consequences are woven into reality. It's important to note that this detailed Tochacha was addressed specifically to the Jewish people in terms of the covenant of Sinai. But others, our B'nai Noach brothers and sisters, can still learn from its warnings and draw inspiration and apply its lessons of consequence and responsibility. But of course, the direct command lies upon Israel. Something very interesting at somewhere near the end of the Tochacha that we find is that there's a key ingredient for being a Torah observant person. The verse says, this is chapter 28, verse 47, because you did not serve the Lord your God with joy and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things that you previously enjoyed. In other words, that's the reason why all this is happening. That seems to be the fulcrum of it all. It's not saying that you didn't serve God. It's that you didn't serve God joyously. That's the difference that makes the difference. We find in the Chovot HaLevavot that serving God without joy is like offering a gift with resentment. It just betrays the relationship. It's poisonous. Joy, says Rabbeinu Bachya, comes from remembering God's kindnesses and recognizing that life itself is a gift. So to serve Hashem without joy is to deny gratitude. It's like here. It's to forget that He is the source of all of our blessings. We also find in the Nesivos Shalom, the Slonim Rebbe, that joy is not just it's not like a hood ornament. It's not just decoration. It's the machine that drives the whole thing. The Torah is not simply a checklist of behaviors, as I've said many times. And neither are the 7 Noahide laws. They're not just rules to post on the refrigerator so that everybody in the house knows what to do. These are meant to transform the individual, to open the heart and shape the soul into a vessel of joy in serving Hashem. And we know that blessing flows not only from just obedience, but from inner willingness. I think it was Rav Yisroel Salanter who said that we have this commandment, honor thy father and thy mother. Now, on the one hand, we should do things because God said to do them. But on the other hand, we don't want to just be like a Torah robot. In other words, it's not enough to just obey this commandment. You also want to transform yourself into somebody who actually does feel those feelings towards their parents, where that's possible. So that it now becomes something not only that you do and check off as a mitzvah that you've done, but it's something that has transformed you, has transformed your approach, has transformed the way you view people, the way you view your parents, for example. There's another important aspect of this parsha, which we find in chapter 26, and these are verses 16 through 19. This day the Lord your God commands you to do these statutes and judgments. Now, we find that Rashi tells us every single time that you see the phrase Hayom, V'yadata Hayom, you shall know this day, V'hashivota el levavecha, and return this, install this in your hearts. Every time the Torah says Hayom, Rashi usually comes around with a comment that says, each and every day, these statutes, these laws, this Torah should be in your eyes as if it was given to you today, fresh and new. This thing is the will of Hashem expressed. It's eternal, which means it doesn't age. It's evergreen, as they say in the social media world. We have to keep it fresh. And the verse continues, you shall therefore keep and do them with all of your heart and with all of your soul. It almost follows that when something is fresh and new, you put all of yourself into it. You put 100% of yourself into it. There is a great Hasidic leader who was known as the Yid HaKadosh, the Holy Jew. And the reason why he was called that is because he would say every day when he woke up as if he became Jewish today. It's a very, very important aspect of serving God, and serving God with joy. Further, it says, you have declared the Lord this day to be your God, and to walk in his ways, and to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments, and to listen to his voice. Now, the idea, and then that's repaid with, and the Lord has declared you this day to be his treasured people, as he has promised you. Now, we see in the Torah that when the Torah refers to Am Segula, that is referring to Am Yisrael. They have a specific relationship with Hashem. We also find in Zechariah, in the 2nd chapter, that as we get closer to the Geula, the redemption, the people of this earth will gather unto us, so to speak, and they also will become a people of God. So what we see here is that when we make the Torah our way of life, when we make Hashem our central focus, he does the same for us. Covenant is mutual. Humanity's dignity is that God enters into relationship with us. For Noahides, that covenant is rooted in the Sheva Mitzvos, B'nei Noach, which is the universal charter for humanity. Now, it's something that we find in the prophets. Here we see it in Isaiah 55, verses 6 through 7. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way and the unrighteous his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon. What Isaiah is telling us is an echo of what we find in the Parsha itself, the urgency, that choice is real, that consequences are real, and that Hashem waits for us to return. So what does this mean for us? Personally, every day you stand in that valley. Your honesty at work, your integrity in private, your compassion in family life, these aren't small things. They are either blessings or curses that ripple outward and impact the world. On the societal level, whole nations stand in that valley. A society that is built on justice, restraint, and compassion brings blessing. Whereas a society that normalizes exploitation, violence, or corruption writes a curse into its own future. What's the role of the B'nai Noach here? We know that the 7 laws are not a checklist. They are a covenant. It's the baseline by which humanity lives in relationship with God. So when a Ben or a Bat Noach chooses righteousness, they're not just obeying, they are also, but they're affirming covenant, and they're bringing blessing into the world. Blessings and curses are like planting seeds, but with one crucial difference. A field may not care whether you plant wheat or thorns, but God does. He cares deeply what we sow. Our choices matter to him, and he multiplies them with his providence. What you plant in your life, God himself responds to, for good or for ill, because that is the extent of free choice that we have. And being at this time of year, as we're learning together, the month of Elul deepens this message. The Torah says blessing and curse are before you. And Elul says the king is in the field. The closeness that we can feel to Hashem in the month of Elul makes moral clarity sharper. We see in the Mesilat Yesharim, in the first chapter, the Ramchal tells us man was created only to delight in God and to enjoy the radiance of his presence. This is the true delight, and all else that people consider good, most of it is just vanity and worthlessness compared to it. And therefore, every step in life is either ascent towards this or descent away from it. There's no neutral. To live in this month is to feel that our choices matter now and that Hashem is near to receive them.